If you're looking for an exercise that's going to really boost your saxophone sound, then check out this video because I'm going to talk to you about an essential warm-up exercise that I use all the time that really gets my embouchure on track and my sound where I want it to be. G'day, Nigel here from Sax School. Well, I'll be honest with you, this is filming this at the end of the summer. I've just taken the whole summer off with my family, running around doing stuff and not doing a lot of saxophone practice. So now I'm back in my studio, the kids are at school, and I'm ready to get back into getting into shape. And one of the most important things, you know, if you've not been playing for a little while, you're getting back into shape on your saxophone, is to develop your embouchure. Now, all of us want to get a better sound, right? But you know, the cornerstone to that, the most important element, is your embouchure. So I'm going to run through an exercise, a warm-up exercise that I'm using a lot at the moment, and you could use this in your practice all the time to really boost your sound. It's a simple exercise, but like a lot of great exercises, it gives you a chance to work on a few different techniques at the same time. So we're going to be talking about breathing, we're going to be talking about tone control, and we're going to talk about intonation. But most importantly, we're going to be giving our embouchure a really good workout. So if you've got your saxophone out, you could practice this along with me as well. And this is what we're going to do. Now, first of all, I've got my music stand set up here. I've got my tuner. Actually, I've got my iPad here with a tuning app on. I use ClearTune, love that app. And I've also got my phone here with my metronome. Now, you could use a standalone metronome if you want, but the metronome is pretty important because it's going to keep us honest. So we're going to do a very, very simple exercise. We're going to use 3 notes. We're going to do the notes in families, so it's a pattern that we can move around our range. To start, keep it really, really simple. We're going to use a G, and then a D, and then a G. So we're starting on G, going up to D, up to high G, back down to D, and then back down to G. We're going to play long tones on each of those 3 notes. We're doing them in families because it's a great way to develop your ear, and it's also a good way to stretch your embouchure. So I've got my tuner on, I'm going to keep an eye on my intonation, but there's basically 3 things that I'm going to be thinking about as I'm working through this exercise. And as we're working through together, these are 3 things you can think about. So first of all, I'm really going to focus on my sound quality. So I'm listening to the sound, I'm trying to picture in my mind the sort of sound I'm going for. And of course, I'm thinking about a nice big open embouchure, an open throat rather, a nice round mouth, and I'm thinking about breathing from down deep. Okay, so my sound quality. The second thing I'm thinking about is my intonation. So I'm watching my intonation or my tunefulness on every single note. It's going to go like this, that's just human nature, but I'm going to keep it as close as I can to being in tune on every single note as we move. And the third thing I'm going to think about is I'm going to think about my air. Now this is the most important thing, the thing that most people miss. So you really need to think about keeping your air going right to the end of every single note. So I'm talking about keeping that air support, keeping the fullness of the sound quality so that the sound has got a lovely fat warmth all the way to the very end. So all the way to the end of each note, but also to the end of each pattern that we're playing. You with me? So sound quality, intonation, and the air. Rightio, so G, up to D, up to G. I'm going to turn my metronome on, and my metronome's set at 60 beats a minute. So what we're going to do is give 4 counts to each note. 4 counts to each note, okay? 4 counts on G, 4 counts on D, 4 counts on high G, back down to D, and back down to G. You with me? One other thing to think about is keeping your shoulders nice and relaxed as well, getting in a comfy position. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's natural to see your intonation fluctuate a little bit, but just try and keep it as close to the center as you can. Now, dynamics is another thing you can add into the mix here just to spruce things up. I was playing on a nice sort of moderate volume all the way through there, but this time let's do it again, but start soft and get louder all the way through as we're going up, and then get softer all the way as we're going down. Okay, it really takes some control of this, so we've got to think hard about it and keep our embouchure nice and relaxed. Here we go. Okay, so doing that, getting louder and then getting softer is really hard to nail, but also it's really difficult to keep your intonation spot on with that. So you really need to think about that. But if you can get it right, wow, it's so good for your embouchure. Let's try another one. Let's go this time F up to C and then up to octave F, back to C and back down to low F. Same thing, we're going to start soft, get loud, and then get soft again. Here we go. Okay, so let's try one more now. We're going to do low E, up to B, and then up to octave E, back to B, and down to low E. Here we go. Okay, so you can see how simple that exercise is. It's only using 3 notes, but we're getting a chance to work on lots of different aspects of our playing in there. And if you're really focused about that and you're using all of these tools, you're thinking about your intonation, you're sticking to the timing, you're thinking about your embouchure, you're thinking about the openness of your throat, your air, and most importantly, keeping that air flowing right to the end of every note, then you're really going to give your embouchure a good workout. So if you're doing 5 minutes of this, let's say, at the beginning of each practice session, then you're going to start to see a massive change in the quality of your tone. And hopefully your mouthpiece, your embouchure rather, is going to start to feel really warm and tingly and worked out. So what's happening is those muscles are getting stronger. So every single time that you're practicing, you're building your strength in that embouchure, and a strong embouchure means a much warmer and a much better, more in control sound, and that's really what we're all going for. So as always, I love the comments that you guys leave below these videos. It helps me to make better videos, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, please do subscribe, because there's new videos coming out all the time, and I'll make these videos to really help you to improve your saxophone playing, hopefully keep you inspired, but most importantly, to have a bunch of fun with your saxophone. So keep practicing hard. I'll see you next time.